pool our resources together to the glory of Mother Zambia.
Hello, viewers, wherever you're watching from, the United States, Africa, Europe, Asia, wherever you're watching from. Welcome to ZAM 11 Star Sports Channel. This is your presenter, Peter Chitila, my co-presenter, John Cattell, as usual.
Yeah, like always, it's good to be on the show. And hey, today is an exciting day. And
Very exciting.
Yeah, welcome everybody. We're glad to be back on the show.
Yes, we just have a few minutes, a short program to analyze the Zambia Algeria game, which is going to be played at Heroes Stadium in Lusaka tonight, Zambian time, 21 hours. Let's hope the boys can do it. There you go, John. The floor is all yours.
Well, obviously, you know, when Zambia is playing, everybody in Zambia is going to be glued to their television set, and your number one broadcaster, ZNBC, is going to be beaming that match live in the next hour. So it's truly exciting, and we are hoping the best for Chipolo Polo. So, Peter, what do you think are the chances of Zambia winning this game against Algeria?
The chances of beating Algeria with the ground where we play the game is number one, following the coach plan. If the coach has a suitable, nice plan to beat Algeria, we have now enough good players, you know, to change the game and make sure we score goals and beat Algeria.
Yeah,
it's the system. Yeah.
Yeah. So the question now becomes like, does Coach Mitchell know enough about Algeria for him to come up with the right game plan for success in this game?
That's what's very crucial. Beating Algeria is gonna take a lot of hard work because they know how to open the field. See, when you and I were talking of opening the field, we understand because we've been on the field. They open up the field. So when they open up the field, and everything is gonna be open. So depending on how tactical Zambia is, so going to your question, I don't know how Mitchell knows Algeria, but I understand he knows Algeria, but they have a lot of players in Europe, so they can change any formation anytime.
Yeah. And I know like Algeria is going to be playing without their stars because like Mahrez, for example, is not going to be there to play the game because he wasn't allowed to travel. Do you think the other boys they have on the Algerian team will be able to rise to the occasion because they have a point to prove?
Algeria is always going to rise to the occasion because they are the number one team in Africa. So when you're on top of everything, you're always motivated and you always come up with a plan. They know it's not easy to play Zambia in Lusaka because they have it in their mind that the last time they went there, they lost 3-1 to Edson Nirida, which was a very, very entertaining game. And that was a game again where they didn't have all the stars. So psychologically, they know it's a very crucial game.
Yeah. I know their coach, Bemadi, or whatever his name is for Algeria, he was basically challenging his young players that, hey, you got a chance to prove yourself that you need to be in the team for the AFCON as well as the upcoming World Cup qualifiers. So are you able to step up your game and earn yourself a spot on this team? You know?
Yes, that's a very crucial point. This is something applies to Zambia national team. They record back Nathan Sikala, the captain, you know, they record him back. So they have to prove if they're worth staying in a team, and this is the game where you have to prove yourself that yes, really you deserve to be in the Zambia national team. So with the Algerians, like I said, whoever is in the Algerian lineup, they exactly know what they are doing. Besides missing the star players, I don't see any changes, any different. Actually, sometimes when they leave the stars out of the team, the replacement want to impress and do better than the actual players. So it's a very, very difficult game.
Yeah. You mentioned Nathan Sinkala is back in the team, and then we've got Kabaso Chongo, who is back on the team as well. So it's good to see some of the more seasoned, experienced players being included in the side.
Yes.
Yeah, so I don't know what the approach is going to be from the Zambian technical bench. Are they just going to go all out offense, or is that going to be more of a balanced kind of approach that going to take to the game?
I hate Zambia's 3-5-2 formation.
Okay.
The 3-5-2 formation, which allows the wing backs to overlap and go forward and do the attacking. So when you have the 3-5 formation, sometimes you want to be solid in midfield. Then you so dependent on the strikers, because most teams that uses the 3-5-2 is the teams that are so dependent on the strikers. So us having Patron Daka back in a team and his scoring ability, I think they have so much hope in him to where he can break through and score a goal, and which means they will still defend in midfield, because when you're playing a team like Algeria, they're always going to try to dominate the midfield. Yes, so going all out, I don't think that would be a very good idea, because you're playing a most very intelligent team in Africa. So going all out, I don't think it's going to be a good idea. John, this game, it's not like it's going to start with 3-0, 2-0 or something like that. No, we're going to start at a 0-0 situation.
Yes.
So when you start at a 0-0 situation, you have to become composed. We can go first half 0-0 as long as we don't concede in the first half. With that last minute pressure, I know maybe we can find a goal. So we cannot always go all out. Let's be composed, stick to the coach system, see how the players, can hold up with the Algerians, because they're always going to change things while they're playing the game. So if we stick to the system, the coach that has implemented the 3-5-2, which means the three at the back, they have to be very, very, very confident. They have to play the ball, because everybody's going to be packed in midfield. The wing backs will push forward. Then the three midfielders will stick in a midfield. And Nathan Sinkala will draw down to come and get the ball, because I think he's the most confident and senior player in that team. He's going to draw down to get the ball so he can feed in midfield. So if we can do that, we have to have patience. It's okay to win 1-0 in this type of a game. All we need is 3 points.
Yeah,
that's all we need. Once we get the 3 points, then we go to Zimbabwe, we get the 3 points, will be just fine. So there's no reason to go out there and try to push the game harder to where we want to score 5 goals. That would be a disaster for Zambia.
Yeah, because the one thing I'm thinking is, like, when you are playing the 3-5-2 with the 2 wing backs really pushing high, you leave yourself vulnerable on the wings as well, especially when you play against the North Africans that tend to be very quick with their wingers.
Yes.
When you have those spaces that are wide open on the wings, you might become very vulnerable, and those are going to exploit those areas. And if they're able to exploit those areas, put the crosses in, that could spell disaster for Zambia.
Yes, that would be a very big disaster. Like I said, John, we cannot open up this game. We cannot expose anything, because a team like Algeria make the game so boring. They'll try to make the game so boring, not in a way that they are clearing the ball. No, in a way that they'll be doing a lot of passing. Like I said, they open up the field. They open up the field. They'll do a lot of passing. Then, because we are under pressure, we want to score, we'll do a lot of chasing. So when you do a lot of chasing in soccer, then you're out of position. You're going to find everything being put behind you. You're going to exhaust a lot of energy by chasing, and that's going to be the best. That's going to be the worst situation for the Zambian players if they do that. So the best thing to do is be composed have 5 players in midfield. They are always in front, or they are always behind the ball, watching everything that's going on, talking to the goalkeeper, everybody talking on the field. This game, there's no fans. So
Right.
if the team is not going to be talking, it's going to be a lot of trouble. I saw the boys were very composed in practice. If you can see here, you see everybody kneeling, they praying, they know what they're going for. They're trying to make sure, they go through this Africa Cup of Nations, which is going to result into a disaster if we don't win today's game. So,
Yep.
uh,
Absolutely. I agree.
go
And
ahead.
2 words that I've just picked up from you, Peter. You talked about composure. Composure is going to be such a big deal. And starting from the back, from the goalkeeper, the defenders, the midfielders, all the way up to the strikers, there needs to be composure. And that composure basically is a state of mind. So, how calm are you on the ball? And how well are you able to see the spaces that are there for you to run into or to pass the ball? If you are able to stay composed, then you can see a lot of what's going on the field. But if you can't control your mind very well, because it becomes a mental game. We know this very well. And
Yes.
the North Africans are very good at playing mind games.
Yes.
And hopefully the boys don't do anything crazy and commit unnecessary fouls. And if they're able to stay composed and just play the game the way they're supposed to, then good things are going to happen. But the other thing I was just going to mention, the communication.
Yes.
You talked about the talking that has to go on the field. That is pretty key, because one thing like a lot of the young players need to understand also is that when you communicate, it actually shows that you're confident. Or sometimes
Yes.
even if you're not confident, the opponent is going to think like, hey, this person really knows what they're doing because they're talking, they're communicating to their teammates, they have a great game plan. So for the Chipolo Polo boys, we just hope that they'll be able to communicate with each other well and cover for each other. If your teammate gets caught out of position, are you able to cover for them? And a game like this is going to call for that. So composure, that communication, that has to be on a very high level tonight.
Yes, that's very good, John. And what we are saying, what we mean when we say you gotta stay composed, what we mean is, the players, like you say, when you cover some, then you get the possession of the ball by, interception or whatever. You have to hold on to that ball. You have to make use of that ball. What I don't want to see in today's game, I don't want to see Zambia gets the ball in desperation, clears the ball. You see what
Yes.
I mean? I've seen this since this new coach. I've seen it over and over. Hopefully, they sat down and they spoke about it. 3-5-2 formation. We played that formation with Ashos Mel. We played that formation with George Mungo. That's the time I enjoyed football at the national team, because it's called the pendulum. You got to play in the back, and a team like Algeria, they know not to send everybody forward. So it's going to be 3 against 2. So sometimes when you're playing 3 against 2, you have to involve the goalkeeper, because I know they spoke so much about, the goalkeeper from South Africa. So
Chiwe.
he's gonna start today's game, and I hope, you see, he's been talking with the coaching and everybody. They trying to encourage him. I know it's a lot of nervousness in the players because they don't know what they are going up for. So
Yeah.
Chiwe hasn't been playing. He never went to the Chan Cup. You see, this is a little concerned with the changing of the goalkeeper. That's my little concern, because the goalie that played in the Chan is a little bit taller. More. He's learning every time they play the game. He's learning from his mistakes. So with that composure that he obtained in Chan, I was thinking I was going to continue in today's game.
Right.
Yes, but everything has changed. They have changed the players. They have changed the goalkeeper. So I think the first 10, 15, 20 minutes of the Zambian game is going to be something we never expected, because the players won't be that confident to start the game. The players won't know each other like they did in the Chan, after whatever Nations Cup. So the goalkeeper is very, very, very important in today's game, because he has to dictate everything. You see, when we talk about the goalkeeper talking, John, the goalkeeper commands everything. He has to be out of the goal, standing by the 18 area, directing players, switch the ball, do this. He has to do a lot of talking, and there are no fans. Everybody can hear what he's saying. So he has to watch everything from the back. I think that's going to be crucial for Zambia. There's no rushing. Let's play the ball. Let's enjoy the game. But most of the boys, if they're trying to play the game under pressure, then it's the advantage of the Algerian team.
Yeah, and that's a good point again you brought up there, Peter. When you're talking about the goalkeeper, the communication from the back, that's where it all starts. In fact, if you don't have a good goalkeeper that can communicate, then you are in trouble. I mean, over the years, Zambia has produced a lot of good goalkeepers. I can go as far back as the late Ifod Chavala.
Right.
And how well he was able to communicate. I remember as a young boy, you know, watching the Olympics in 1988. Yeah, just to date myself a little bit there. Yeah. So you had Zambia playing against Germany, for example,
Right.
and the late Ifo Chavala was like, "Kumutadi." And,
Right,
you know,
right.
he was trying to organize his
Communication,
defense.
yes.
Communication, you know, it has to be that way. And when you do that as a goalkeeper, it really makes your life so much easier.
Correct. Yes,
And
yes.
that of everybody else. So this is going to be the expectation from the new goalkeeper for Zambia now, Chibwe. He has to make sure he stays on top of things. He has to communicate with his defenders all the way up the field. That has to be the case.
Yes, and talking of the goalkeeper, the reason I spoke about the goalkeeper, if you see the Algerian team, they are very, very tall guys, you know. So whenever you play a game, and you got to look at the disadvantages of the other team. That's what national team level is all about. You know, when we played in a national team, when we had James Peary in goals, it was totally different. When we have a corner against us, we were not so much worried. We tried to cover the outside the 6-yard box because we know James Peary is going to come and try to parry that ball. But when we had Davis Peary, like you said, with that height, Davis Peary was organized. See the difference with the short goalkeeper. He has to talk a lot. He has to organize his team. Davis Peary used to organize the defenders to where there's no loopholes, and he would choose what type of player to stand in certain positions because the height of the goalkeeper, the corner kicks, free kicks. Like we said, Algerian team is not a team where you just go pick players. They all professionals. They know what they are doing.
Yes.
So when they have a set piece, they have a free kick, they have a corner kick, they'll try to make sure they utilize those opportunities if they see Zambia is so solid in a free play. You know what I mean? So the corner kicks, the set pieces is going to be very, very vital when you have a goalkeeper of that height. That's what I mean, and that's what I feel. Algeria is going to look at that. Everybody who plays soccer before, you have to look at the opposition goalkeeper. What height are they? What advantages can we take? So that's what's going to happen in the free kick, corner kicks. Hopefully, we can reorganize these boys so that they can avoid that heading because they are very, very good at heading, and it's going to be another disadvantage for Zambia.
Yeah, and I know Algeria coming into Lusaka, they're going to be confident, like they can go away at least with a draw. But the Zambian lads have to remember you are playing at home, and despite the fact that there are not going to be any fans, you have to make the most of your home ground. You are playing in Lusaka. The expectation is you guys have to win this game.
Yes,
because it's like that. Go ahead, Peter.
The disadvantage of the football in a pandemic is where you have no fans. And you know, if you know the Zambia national team, we have that 15 minutes, like we talked about last time. We had a Get D that kicked off the matches. You see, when the game starts, Get D start making the noise. The opposition are confused. Zambia 1-2-0. That's how we used to win games. Then everything levels out. Then second half, here comes the opposition. Then last minute, Get D start to make the noise. It's like a switch. That's why they say Zambia win a chungulo. Any Chimuela, all those things came from last minute, attack from Zambia. So um, this is to a disadvantage because we don't have fans on the ground, on the stadium. You
Yeah.
see, and when you talk about, sorry, when you talk about the midfield of today's game, we have Enoch Mwep, we have Sinkala. You know, Enoch is playing at a high level. The difference between Enoch and Nathan has experience of playing national team football. So what we are saying is Algeria has 5 times players like that. You
Yeah.
see, that's why I don't want to mention a lot of Enoch Mwepu or Patson Daka. I don't want to put these boys under pressure or over relying on these boys because we cannot rely on these 2 boys. They have come to Lusaka to enjoy the game. They have come to Lusaka to play for Zambia, of which, we give them a thumbs up with congratulations because they traveled all the way, so they have to come and enjoy the game, play the way they play, because if they try to work so hard, try to impress, it's going to be very difficult because they'll be on a different level to other players. They have already faced that pressure, so they know to contain the pressure. They played in the Champions League. They played friendly games with Liverpool. So they know when the pressure is coming. They know when the pressure is gone. So this is going to be a very, very different game to watch because it's interesting to watch because we have to see how Zambia is going to gel in. And by the way, everybody that lives in the United States, the game is at Bean Sports, the Spanish channel. And I think because Morocco is sponsored by Puma, they run Algeria is sponsored by Puma, they run the African soccer, all that stuff. So the game is going to be live on Bean Sports, English, Spanish, everything. We're going to have to watch this game and support the lads. So about the midfield, that's where my biggest concern. I don't want to rely so much on Enoch Mwepu. I know what he can do. I know how he can help Zambia. He's up and down player, but can we defend? That's the question. So,
Yeah,
John, I'll ask you this question.
Yes.
Mitch at the row with the reporters because they asked him certain questions. I don't know if you saw this interview.
Yeah, I caught some of it. Yeah.
Yes. Well, if you heard about Mitchell's situation, he was very how
Was
can
he
I
very
put?
upset
He was
about the question?
upset about the question about his captain. You see, so what do you think about this situation?
Yeah, I think some of the guys from the media they have to learn also to ask the right questions because I thought it was a little inappropriate for a reporter or a journalist to come and ask the coach about the differences that had been there before, and those differences are not there anymore. And here in a couple of days, you have a big game against a big opponent, and you start to ask that question. And understandably, that's why Mitchell, I think, was upset. So my advice to the guys out there who are journalists is like, you have to know which question to ask because that question, again, it may just serve to bring a lot of division to the team when you're supposed to be uniting the team. Now you can bring a lot of disunity. So I think the question itself was a little out of place, in my opinion.
Okay, yeah. So the other thing, in response, I heard when he dropped the player, he said that was a friendly game in. They lost in Kenya, I
In
think.
Kenya,
That was
yeah.
a friendly game. I watched the game. We watched the game, you and I.
Yes.
But what I was saying is, he said my captain has he doesn't control the team. He doesn't talk with his, he makes mistakes, that. He criticizes the captain so much because of what he saw from that game. Now, the same captain, you bring him in a very, very crucial, decisive game. So that's where the reporters were like, why would you bring somebody who you criticize so much? Because I heard Mitchell saying, no, he was my friend. He's still my friend, and he's still going to be my friend after the game. So my advice is to the captain is this is not about Mitchell. This is not about the reporter. The captain has to stay composed. The games that we watched that Mitchell was talking about, yes, he was not very composed. He could not control the three defenders at the back, like you and I were saying. That's the game that boy, he had to foul. I think he got a red card or something like that. But what I was saying, they was chasing too much the referee. All those things, the captain, you have to be in charge. You have to speak to your players. We don't want to see 5, 6, 7 Zambian players chasing the referee because of the referee's decision. That's going to bring confusion, and everything is going to work to the advantage of Algeria, because Algeria, see, they don't want to be second seed going to the Africa Cup of Nations. They want to be first seed.
Exactly.
So what they'll do is they have come to a strategy where they'll play a little bit, hold everything. They'll play, they'll come in, slow down. They'll come, like I said, you're going to watch the game, you're going to tell me after the game. They'll come in, they'll slow down. They'll come in, they'll slow down. The reason why is they are working with the time. They're looking at the time, because a draw for Algeria is good enough for them with 11 points. You see what I mean? Yes. So a draw for Algeria and the 5-0 bashing that they did to Zambia with 11 points is good enough for them to go and win the group. Even if Zimbabwe beat Botswana today and they beat Zambia in Zimbabwe, they're going to have 11 points. And guess what? They'll be short of the goals.
Yes.
Yes. So that's that's the mathematics that's going on. So like I said, Zambia has to be very, very patient, especially at the back. This is where I miss, players like Harrison Chongo, Elijah Tana, Elijah Litana, the John Sokos, the Eston Mulenga, the Kapambwe Mulengas, these players
Legends.
used to have, the legend. They used to have, when you're playing with them, they used to have that confidence that anything in the back, that's theirs. You see, they controlling the defense. They'll play the ball. This is what we don't have in this young team today. We don't have the defense that can play the ball into midfield, the defense that can change things. We don't have that type of a philosophy. That's why I'm hoping Mitchell in this game came up with a big plan that where these players have to be very, very confident.
Yeah. So going back to some of the comments you already made about Algeria and how they're just going to come in, slow things down. And so this is about controlling the tempo of the game.
Yes.
And, the experience that Algeria has, and even the type of players, they are going to understand what is at stake and what they need to do to come up with a positive result.
Yes.
So they're going to come in, control the tempo of the game. And but Zambia has to find a solution to that. Like, can you score an early goal? Because you score an early goal, that changes things. So what does Algeria do? Are they going to come out, or are they just going to sit back? So hopefully, again, this is where Mitchell gets paid the big bucks, so to speak.
Yes.
He has to come up with a game plan on how Zambia is going to adjust as the game goes on. If Algeria is slowing things down, can we increase our own tempo and punish them? When they're trying to slow things down. But he has to come up with all those solutions.
Yes, I like what you said, because, Algeria is going to slow down everything. Not slowing down in terms of playing slow, tactically. Just to the viewers that may not understand the soccer language. When you're trying to slow things down, you become very, very tactical to where the opposition cannot have the ball. So that's slowing things down. They'll spread the field. They'll play wide. They come back inside. Running up and down. You're going to be like, oh, hold on, let's wait. What are they doing? They're going to try to slow down everything tactically, because they are capable and they have players who can do that. So what Zambia needs to do is take advantage of any attack. And, with the forwards, if I was Mitchell, I'll talk to the forwards. Please, when you get a chance, concentrate 100%, because we don't need to win 4-5-0. We don't need all that. All we need is we just need one goal and play well and defend. Because if we score one goal, John, trust me, Algeria is going to switch a gear to a certain level to where they want to equalize, because they're coming to Zambia for a draw. They're not coming there for a win. I don't think you can come to Zambia regardless how Zambia is very, disorganized, or they're not playing well. You cannot travel to Zambia looking for a win. So you gotta be very strategic unless you catch a mistake. Like I said, on the set pieces, I'm so concerned about the goalkeeper. Set pieces with a team like Algeria. I've seen that, we played Morocco. We had Davis Pirin goals, very good goalkeeper. Never seen the goalie of that height who I can compare to Davis Pirin. But when we played against Morocco, everything they did was high, because they knew the goalkeeper is short, and they scored a goal from that until we equalized. But what I'm saying is, that's my biggest concern, John, is the set pieces. They'll try to play around the backs for Zambia to make a mistake, and they'll try to capitalize on that. So if Zambia can go out there, score a goal, settle everything, try to enjoy the game. Like we said again, it's going to be up to the defense. The defense, you see, when you score a goal, the defense has to control everything, the passing, the movement, everything has to be perfect. So that's tactics slowing down the game about Algeria. That's what they'll do all night today.
Yeah. So the other thing that I think we have to talk about is the discipline that we're going to expect from the defenders, because you know how theatrical some of the North African players can be, just to want to draw fouls and things. So our defenders have to make sure they're disciplined and not to commit fouls in dangerous areas, especially around the 18. You've talked about the height of the Algerians, and that is going to cause us a lot of trouble. So we just have to make sure that we stay disciplined. If we can contain, we contain, and we have to cover for each other, and that's going to be important. But moving forward, again, it's not just booting the ball forward. It's going to be about possession. Can we keep the ball?
Yes.
And if we are not able to keep the ball tonight, forget about winning this game.
Yeah, that's going to be very crucial.
Right.
We have to keep the ball. The first 5-10 minutes, we'll see how Zambia is going to start. If the defense is not keeping the ball, then it's going to be very, very difficult for Zambia Chipolopolo to win tonight, because we are playing a very intelligent team, very intelligent coach. With or without Riyaz Mahrez, they still can do a lot of damage. That's what's going to happen tonight. Yes, they have players that play in Europe. They see this all the time. We're playing a game at night. So that's another issue that, maybe we may be concerned about. They are used to that. They do that every day. So this is a very, very tactical game that we just need to have the defense. You and I, John, we are advocating about the defense. We have to have very, very patient. We have to keep the ball, to encourage the midfield to go. I know Patson Daka can score a goal anytime. Yes. So for what I think for Mitchell, that I can visualize, for him using the 3-5-2, he trying to push the wing backs.
Right.
So what happens is when you push the wing backs, then you're gonna have the three midfielders stay inside, because you have three at the back against two. So you're gonna have the midfield stay inside, and they want to distribute the ball wide. So once they distribute the ball wide, then they can hit either a through ball to Patson Daka, or they can cross, because I know his finishing is very, very good. He's improved his football. So I think that's his plan to play the lines attack. But like you said, the discipline of the defenders, that's what matters. When you go up there, and as tactical as the Algerians are, then they play the ball behind you. What are you going to react? How is your reaction? That's where I'm concerned with Zambian players. Are you trying to come in hard? Are you trying to cover? What you think are the defenders thinking tonight?
Yeah, I mean, this is where, again, the coaching staff needs to preach to these defenders. You have to have composure, like we've talked about. And then you have to be disciplined in how you go into those challenges. You can't be reckless, because you know that if you start committing fouls around the 18, or worse, if it is inside the box, you're giving up penalty kicks. So that can't be like that. But with that said, I think we have enough experience to where we can rely on the defenders we have tonight.
Yes.
And those defenders should just make sure they continue to think, because sometimes, because of the pressure of the game, some people are likely to lose their minds and do crazy things. So all we can expect or encourage the guys to do is stay composed. Keep your mind going. Don't stop thinking. Keep thinking. And when
Right.
you continue to do that, good things are going to happen for you. You're going to give that pass that is going to lead to Patson Daka scoring, or you're going to deny the other team the scoring opportunities.
Exactly. That's exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
It's going to be very interesting. Now, talking of the overall picture of the Zambia national team and the setup, you know, the Kamangas, we have the Kamangas, you know, leading the delegation, which means what do you think is at stake for Kamanga as a president and this game and not going to the Africa Cup if we lost?
Yeah, well, to be honest, I don't think there's a lot at stake for him because he just got another mandate to lead the Football Association of Zambia just a few weeks ago. So he's going to be sitting pretty. But here's what's going to happen with the Zambian fans. You know how
Right.
crazy the Zambian fans can be. They're
Yes.
going to be calling for his resignation if Zambia loses tonight. And
Right.
it's going to be so loud to say, hey, if we can't qualify to go to the African Cup of Nations, then what is the point of having you as the Football Association president? And this is not just going to be about Mr. Kamanga as the president, but anybody else that was in office would be asked the same thing. Like, you are the president and the buck stops right here. So
Right.
why are we not qualifying to these big tournaments? Because that is why we have employed you, is for Zambia to qualify and play at these high level competitions.
Yes. As we're talking, John, right now, Zimbabwe is leading 1-0 in Botswana, and the game is in the second half. So
Okay.
those are the desperate moments I was talking about, because
Yeah.
Zimbabwe now is looking at from 5 points, they're looking at 8 points. Yes, so now
Yeah.
that will put Zambia in a desperate situation, because a draw is not gonna look good for Zambia because of everything is going back to the 5-0 bashing. You see, if they tie with
Yes.
the points, it says Zambia goes to Botswana, to Zimbabwe, and they
Zimbabwe.
beat Zimbabwe. It's going to be the goal difference. We lost so many goals that time. That's going to cost us, you know, qualifying to the Africa Cup of Nations. So going back to just the update. Botswana 0, Zimbabwe 1 is in the second half. So going to the Kamanga, the pressure is, like you said. I like the way you expressed it. Kamanga should be under pressure because the people of Zambia is going to be asking questions. You see, what's the reason of having, because this is the most important moment. This is the reason the Football Association of Zambia presidents, when you are a president, this is where you need to sit down. Like I said, football needs experience for you to run it as an administrator or anything. There are crucial times in football like this one today, where the Football Association president is going to depend on the coach, and the coach is going to depend on the players. You see that channel?
Yes.
So now you, the Football Association president, you the one that brought that coach. So when you bring in that coach, you're expecting him to deliver. So this is the time to deliver. This is the time, like you said, all that money Mitchell makes in Zambia, this is the time we want him to deliver. We don't need no excuses. Like we talked about this before. The players, Chelsea, I'll give an example of Chelsea. Chelsea are the same players with Frank Lampard, losing the games, drawing unnecessary games. You know the reason why? Because the coach formation was not working with the players that he had. It's the same thing with Mitchell. This is the same players that's been losing. If you change the formation, if you change tactically, you can win games with the same players that wasn't winning. So I think Kamanga job will be at stake if Zambia don't win today, because if you look at the things now, the way they're looking, already Zimbabwe is leading by 1-0, which means they're at 8 points. And that's a very sad situation. That's bad news for Zambia, because we have to win this game no matter what. We was looking at a draw, maybe go win in Zimbabwe, blah, blah. Now we are looking at a win. It's a must win game. Then when we go to Zimbabwe again, it's a must win game. So now the occasion has become even bigger and bigger.
Yeah, I mean, you are absolutely right on that one. These two games, Algeria and Zimbabwe, we have to win. It's not like, yeah, we can draw against Algeria or against Zimbabwe. There's no pride in that, and we shouldn't even think of that at this moment. This has to be an outright win tonight and then against Zimbabwe. But that's a big ask because both of these teams, you look at Algeria and Zimbabwe. In fact, for me, I would even be more scared of Zimbabwe than Algeria, to be honest.
Yes.
I think they have a lot of good players that are playing in Europe or even in Zambia, and some of them in the Zambian League or South Africa. So it's going to be tough, especially when Zimbabwe is playing at home and the rivalry that is there between them and Zambia. I think it even raises the stakes that much more. So I think we are in a do or die situation. But again, we have nothing to lose at this point because we lost games that we shouldn't have lost. So now we just have to go and try to win these games.
Yeah, we have to get back to the Zambian soccer fans. Would love to encourage the Zambian national team players. They have to play, like I said, they have to play for Mother Zambia. They're not playing this game for the coach. They're not playing this game for Kamanga. And as a national team soccer player, when you are called to represent the country, you playing for the country. You playing for Mother Zambia. When you play for Zambia, you have to do the best. You have to give 100%. And giving 100% is not just going there physically trying to kill somebody. No, it's tactical. It's going to be a lot of sense. Like you said, being composed, that's what they call composure. Everybody has to be composed and, just let's win this game tactically. Let's beat them tactically. And, it's going to be good for Zambian football, and the future of Zambia, is going to be bright. But if we lose today, that's going to be the end because we are sitting at 3 points and Zimbabwe is 13 minutes to go. They're still leading 1-0. They may, if they continue leading, they win the game. They sit at 8 points. And if we draw the game tonight, we're going to be at 4 points. Then if we go to Zimbabwe, we win the game. It's still going to be 7 points. So today's game, if Zimbabwe wins, we have to win the game to keep going in this competition.
Yeah, I mean, all we can say is, man, we wish the Chipolo Polo boys all the best. And they should go out there, not to be afraid of anything or to be overconfident. They should be confident, but not be overconfident.
Exactly.
So you've got a good game plan, I hope, from Coach Mitchell, and execute on that game plan. But we are going to expect something special from the lads, Patson Daka, and the rest. So they should go deliver.
Yes, and the same here. I'll say the same thing. I'm just wishing the national team players, the best of luck. Go in that field, give the best. You're doing it for Zambia. You're not doing it for the coach. You're not doing it for football president. You're doing it for the nation. People have been starving. We haven't been going to the Africa Cup of Nations, and people are so disappointed. And we just have to win this game so that we can keep pushing forward. When the Zimbabwe game comes, which is, like you said, most of the people don't understand that the game against Zimbabwe is even tough than the game tonight.
Right.
Yes. So with that being said, John, thank you so much, for joining in. Every time you're coming, you're bringing drama. It's very exciting being with you on a show.
Always,
and to the viewers,
always.
We can do it without you. Anybody that was watching, we love you watching. Go to YouTube, Peter Chitila Support the channel. We're showing the same thing on YouTube. Like the channel, subscribe, and like the page, and we're all gonna be putting Zambian football forward. That's how we do it at Sam 11 Star Sports channel. This is Peter Chitila. We signing off.
Yes, go Zambia. Let's go.